Hey YouTube, here again to do another response video to things going on in the world around us. This time talking about something that blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Uh, in Palo Alto today. Or, yeah, today, of all places. Palo Alto, by the way, is one of the richest areas in the country. It's in the middle of Silicon Valley. It's where Stanford University is. It's where Apple is. It's where Google is. You can't get a home cheaper than $2 million there. Very wealthy people live there. So that's why this is especially interesting that this has happened. In Palo Alto, a high school in Palo Alto, one boy gets arrested for posting a bunch of pictures in Instagram. He starts an account on Instagram, posts 60 pictures of his classmates, and they're all naked. 60 naked pictures of his girl classmates. So you might be wondering, where does he get these pictures? Apparently, these classmates of his, these female classmates, all sexted him naked pictures of themselves. Really, I, when I hear that, I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it when I hear it. So, first, I wanted to do some research and try and validate it. And I found through statistical analysis, 15 to 20% of people under the age of 18 has sent a naked picture of themselves to somebody else. So if you have a high school, a couple thousand kids, of course that would mean 20% of them would mean a couple hundred kids. I've done that. And this is Greek to me. I don't understand this at all. Because I grew up without a cell phone. I didn't get a cell phone until I was a senior in high school. In fact, it was a dumb phone. I had Snake. Smartphones didn't even exist until I was in college. And I don't understand the idea of sexting. Um, but new generation, everybody. So this got me really thinking about just society and the internet and how the internet has affected society. And obviously, immediately we realize the internet has been good for society in many ways. The internet has been good for society economically. It's helped business move along more efficiently. It's helped us all and made our lives more convenient. It's connected us all over the world. It's provided us billions of hours of entertainment with websites like YouTube, um, and it's made it possible for applications like Netflix to exist, as to where you can just watch anything that is on the app anytime. And as long as you have an internet connection and you have a phone or a computer. But the internet has not done great things for society in a few different ways. First and foremost, the internet has been bad for us regarding privacy. This is well exemplified by this news story. If anyone has their hands on a naked picture of you, it could end up anywhere in the world anytime. If you don't believe me, find one picture of someone on the internet. Doesn't even have to be naked. So just find a picture of someone who is attractive on the internet and do a reverse image lookup of them. And I guarantee you will find pictures of them posted on websites that domain is in Japan, is in Russia, India, Middle East, China, doesn't matter. If they're attractive, they will spread around everywhere. So sadly, these 60 kids who made that mistake of sending their likeness to another kid, they're now all over the world. All over the world. They're just people in Japan are beating off to, high school kids in Palo Alto. No joke. It is happening. probably likely happening. If not Japan, China, if not China, Russia, not Russia, the South, it's happening. It's a really sad fact of life that the internet does not have any safeguards for this. Obviously, the best safeguard is just don't sext anyone. Don't even give your picture of you to anyone. Sad, but the internet makes it possible for you to completely screw someone's life. Because also on the internet, there's something called revenge porn, where you post on websites. Here's my exes. Here's all their naked pictures, and it's terrible. It ruins people's lives, and that is not good. That is not good. And there used to be a day when you could have those pictures and things be safe and okay, and that is no longer the case. Another way the internet has not really helped us, but in the same way really helped us, is it's really helped us in the sense that I got a paper to write. I have one day to do it. I have Wikipedia. Awesome. Look it up on Wikipedia, type it up really quick, be done in a day. Yes. Obviously, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, you couldn't do that. You had to go to the library, you had to read, you had to highlight, you had to do legitimately difficult research to get something done. But now knowledge is universally accessible, and that is good and in a way bad, because it has reduced the value of knowledge. Take a great example in fiction is Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. In Brave New World, which by the way is written in the 30s, Brave New World talks about a dystopian potential future where everyone has everything. Well, everyone in the first world has everything, and knowledge is universally accessible, just like the internet. But no one cares about it. No one cares to have knowledge because, oh, E equals mc squared, so that's not a big deal. And this universal accessibility of knowledge is also, in some ways, delegitimized certain traits. I, in high school, wanted to be a video editor, and like it wasn't common for someone to know how to video edit, so I had to go to college to learn how to video edit. I went to broadcast specialty school, and actually I got a degree, a long time later in television production. But while I was in college, I watched the whole thing change. I watched, Final Cut Go from 7 to X. I watched the creation of YouTube come and ruin everything. I watched, Lydia.com swoop in and say, hey, you wanted to be a video editor? Great, well, watch this happen. So now I'm me who's been editing for over 10 years and has honestly made a lot of money editing, and it works. As I've had a career in editing video. But now me, who now I live in the Bay Area. I used to live in Los Angeles for school and work, but now living in the Bay Area, most video gigs around here is just really cheap stuff like, wedding type stuff. It's like, oh, do I hire you who's worth this much and have to pay this much? Or do I hire my nephew who can learn how to do all of this stuff on YouTube at Lydia.com? So, in a way, it's kind of like you can do anything. So what if you can do something that was valuable at one time? A little bit of a grudge there. But I think one of the biggest ways the internet has also negatively affected us is social interaction. And actually, this is scientifically proven by forensic scientists that have been keeping track of brain sizes and brain structure of everyone of all ages. Forensic scientists, people who donate their bodies to science and everything, and people who donate organs. Obviously, before, you can't really donate a brain, so that goes to science. People look at brains. And from the age group of around 23 and younger, meaning when smartphones really became widely available and younger, in high school and all that, the literally every year Every year this gets smaller. The area of the brain of social interaction is getting shorter and shorter on average. So literally the physical capacity for social interaction of kids is diminishing. And that is not good. If you don't believe me, try to have a conversation with a bunch of high schoolers. Sit at a table with four or five other high school kids, or 4 or 5 high school kids, and keep a timer and try and find out how long it takes before someone, mid conversation, in the middle of them, you talking to them, they do this. They literally can't do it. It's a physical addiction to these screens that we all have. And it's strange. It's really weird. It's frustrating. It's concerning. It's like I want to connect with you. You can wait to go on Facebook. You can wait to check your email. Like I really feel like we're fostering a future generation of people who will not be able to interact as efficiently with their children in this. And lastly, I will end on this note because I'm about to get chimes from my clock. You'll hear it in a second. Um, but social justice is bad, and social justice is nowhere near as prevalent as the internet. I mean, we often hear about how social justice is bad for like college campuses, how we're trying to pamper people. Um, but the internet has become a real just harborer of people who express opinions that are very centered around political correctness. And when I say politically correct, I mean people who don't know uh, the idea of the First Amendment. People will literally say, "Oh, you have opinion that is not the same as me. You must be a bigot." It's very common in a lot of things, and unfortunately, one of the biggest things that has an influence on this next generation is the internet. And people who are on the internet are on websites like Reddit and Tumblr, and they're being exposed to these people who can sound smart but are saying very ridiculous things like the First Amendment should be abolished. In my opinion, the First Amendment exists to create a strong people because sticks and stones, basically. Obviously, there are atrocious words like the N word, um, but it's getting a little too far. It's not good. And if you don't believe me in just the internet's influence on kids and mobile products' influence on kids, check this out. I actually, through the work I do now, I'm involved in an app that is, I'm not really allowed to talk about it yet, but an app that is trying to adjust media consumption for this next generation. My generation is the normal one. My, close to 30s generation and older is the normal one. People in the 50s, in their 50s around and older, have between 60 and 70% of their media consumption is television, and then 20 to 30% is mobile, and maybe 10% something else. But point being, the vast majority of media consumption in the older generation is television. My generation is 50-50. People, see how I told you, there goes that clock. People who are of my generation, meaning late 20s to mid 40s, it's 50-50. 50% television, 50% mobile. And me, for example, television major, so and I'm involved in television research, so I watch TV. That's what I do. I sit in front of TV, so I obviously consume more than the average. But this latest generation, meaning people in their teens to 20s, early 20s, consume 30% of their media is television, 70% of their media is mobile. So if you're my age and older, that's weird. Think about that. People are spending 70% of their time, their free time that they use to ingest media, on a mobile phone. That includes video games. They're spending 70% of their time on a mobile phone, not even playing video games. Most of that is not spent watching videos. It's spent on Facebook, it's spent on Twitter, it's spent on Tumblr. And generally, people's influence is strongly, um, the way people think is strongly influenced by what they expose themselves to. If you're spending that much time on the internet, and this is sad too, because the people who are spending most of their time on the internet are generally employed in a low pay, like not low. They're employed in a job that does not give them full time, or they are not employed, so they spend their time on the internet, ironically influencing the future generation. So, in a way, people who are social justice warriors who have these blogs, these video blogs, like myself, are influencing kids more than people like politicians, people who like are news anchors, positive influences for societal function. They're being more influenced by people who likely don't have jobs because they spend all their time blogging about social justice on the internet, or maybe they're full-time students who never really got out of their safe space. Anyways, that's my commentary on the internet and how it is a bad thing for us all, as well as a good thing for us all. A lot of people like Joe Rogan think the internet is the best, or one of the best things that has happened to us in this progressing society into a new kind of a new age of Aquarius or whatever. But it's just not. It is, and it has done a lot of good, but it's debilitating us in a lot of ways. It's hindering our ability to thrive. It's giving us false hope and false happiness, and it's just it's. I mean, I'm so lazy now because of the internet, and I didn't even grow up with it, so hopefully we'll figure it out. That's all I gotta say. Hopefully we'll figure it out, and we'll make it better instead of continuing to get lazy and become selfish dicks to post pictures of naked children. Anyways, that's it for me. I'll see you guys